our guys played a good game. Chris Gent challenged our guys to start the game right, especially with the execution of the first play. And our guys did it. Our guys, they were locked in from the beginning of the game, and it showed through that first offensive play, through the first few minutes of the game. We got a lot of great contributions from our guys. Josh was the connector that he was. 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals. OG was fantastic. He hit some timely buckets for us. Play after play after play after play. He had 21. He was really, really good. 7 rebounds, and he did a pretty good job of trying to keep Allen off the glass. That's who he matched up with. Cat, I mean, he was our hub offensively. 7 assists, zero turnovers. He was really good for us offensively and defensively. The 3 steals, but his ability to fire back in the pick and roll situation was really good. Mikhail, I mean, man, he just got to his spots. Mikhail got to his spots all night. He hit big shot after big shot. And on top of that, he had 6 rebounds, and then trying to defend James, Hall of Famer, without fouling him. This really good ball game from Mikhail. Jalen, he's MVP. He's an MVP candidate. He's supposed to do what he did tonight. He's got to go score it, or he's got to command a double team and make the game easier for everybody else. Our bench, everybody that came on the floor, they played great minutes for us, but I got to take my hat off to Landry. We put him on the floor in Josh's spot. They're paying a lot of attention to Jalen. Somebody's going to be open if the floor is spaced, and we're getting off the ball in a timely manner. And literally, because of the way they're playing D, we're just playing conceptually. We're really trying to play fast, trying to space the floor the right way, trying to touch the paint, trying to make quick decisions with the basketball. So our guys are just doing a great job playing out of our concepts, especially when they're blitzing, soft blitzing, kind of zoning up, and doing different things defensively. But Landry was huge. And then, on the other end of the floor, he's got to match up with a guy like Donovan Mitchell, which is a tough cover for anybody. And you're not going to stop him, but you got to work your tail off. And Landry's trying to work. 2 things happened in the second half. I thought throughout the whole game, I thought we did a good job of trying to play fast. We want to play fast against these guys at every opportunity we can get. We don't want to go against their set defense all the time, so we got to keep trying to play fast. And then our guys did a better job in the second half of trying to defend without fouling. They tried to show their hands and lead with their chests, and we got to continue to do that in Game 4.
Mike, with Mikhail, he has been so good getting out on the break for you guys consistently, but he's also so present defensively.
Yeah.
That's kind of a tough balance to weigh for a lot of players. What's allowing him to be able to get those leak outs, get so many fast break points while also staying so present on the defensive end?
His feel is unbelievable. He's just got a good feel. He's doing that on his own. He's picking and choosing when to go, just like he's picking and choosing when to look for his shot when we call his number. We need him to continue to do that. I told him and OG, because I don't call a ton of play calls, you guys got to find different ways to impose your will on the game. And they're both doing a phenomenal job of imposing their will on the game.
Mike, if I'm correct, that's 10 in a row now for you guys in the playoffs, and of those 10, only one has been a single-digit win. You've won all these by 10, 20, 30. There's a 50-point win in there. When you look at the path that you guys have had, do you feel like did you expect it to be, I don't want to characterize it as easy because I know it's not easy, but does it feel like it's kind of been, a little bit on the easier end?
No, not at all. This is hard. We're playing good teams. I've said this before. We're playing a team right now that has 4 NBA All-Stars and 2 of the best shooters in the league on top of those 4 NBA All-Stars, and they have a fantastic coach in Kenny Atkinson. There's nothing easy about this. I got to give our guys credit, though. Our guys are trying to stay locked in and focus on the details, and I got to give my staff credit. My staff has been fantastic. Chris Gent, Rick Brunson, Brendan O'Connor, Darren Erman, TJ Saint, Ricky Foy, all those guys. They've been freaking awesome. And, we got to keep trying to stay locked in and see if we can get another win. It's just one game at a time, but there's nothing easy about this.
Mike, to win 10 playoff games in a row, how much of it is peaking at the right time, getting hot at the right time, or how much was it like this was the plan? You guys knew what the goal was. You wanted to be peaking at this time. And this is kind of a culmination of what you guys have been working towards.
We didn't. I mean, obviously, this is the time that you want to peak, as come playoff time. But it just happens. I mean, when I was with Golden State, I think we won 10 or 11 in a row. And it wasn't anything that we planned, It just happened. Your players are connected. They're sacrificing. They're doing the things I always talk about. They're holding each other accountable. They're believing in the process in each other, and they're playing with a competitive spirit that's unmatched. And, if you do those things while, focusing on the detail and communicating and bringing energy and effort, you have a chance to string some games together. But when you're in the playoffs, it's about trying to peak at the right time. It's about, knock on wood, trying to stay healthy and having a little bit of luck.
Mike, when you first took this job, most of the talking right in front of you. I know
Sorry.
you're looking down on us like a king and peasants. It's kind of uncomfortable.
That is not true. But I heard what you're saying. But, hey, you got to speak to Cleveland about that. This their setup.
Yeah. Somebody up there used to work in Cleveland twice. I don't know about that. But when you first took this job, one of the edicts was develop the bench, make sure your starters aren't worn out so that they can be fresh this time of year. The minutes have shown that players are fresher. Usually, when you look across the way and historically, this is when teams start to wear down. Do you see the effects of your plan and how you've rationed out the minutes and deepened the bench? Did you expect this team to look this fresh at this point?
I mean, that's a great question. I've been fortunate, blessed, lucky to be a part of some good coaching staffs and be with some great coaches. Steve Kerr, Greg Popovich, they were guys that went deep into their bench. And they both always used to say, it's not about now, it's about the postseason. It's not about now, it's about the postseason. And, you keep guys engaged by doing that. And you do develop not just the bench, but the team as well, because guys get used to playing with other guys just in case somebody goes down. And so, again, that's something that I stole from them. Very few things I came up with on my own. I've seen it work in the past, and that's kind of what I thought I wanted to do here. Try to do it in Sacramento too. So again, you kind of live through it. You learn, you develop, philosophy from what you learn from, and if you believe in it, you try to stick with it as best you can. And that's what we try to do here. Our guys, they're doing a nice job getting rest and taking care of their bodies and their minds and trying to play as hard as they can every second they're out on the floor, and we have to keep doing that.
And Mike, before the game, you mentioned, Leon Rose and his group
Yeah.
targeting Mikal Bridges. They also traded for OG Anunoby and re-signed him. So I'm just wondering, when these two guys are playing at a high level on both ends, how much have they impacted what you guys have been able to do in this 10-game winning streak?
A ton. And I said before, you guys already signed my contract, so Mr. Dolan can't give me more money. But, I mean, it starts with him. He's paying the bill, and then you talk about Leon and his group going to try to target big wings that are two-way players and that can do multiple things out on the floor and trying to make it fit. So, Mr. Dolan, Leon, Leon Rose, they're just as big a part of this thing as I am or Jalen is or anybody else is, for sure.
Coach, they said that you can always learn something through your journey, either
Yeah.
from yourself or others. So ever since the playoffs, what did you learn from your team, yourself? And then do you feel like you learn, like there's a little bit more identity that you learn from this team ever since the playoffs?
You know, you always say your identity is either A, you're a good offensive team, or you're A, B, you're a good defensive team. And, you know, this group, I don't even know if this makes sense, but they're so resilient. You know, we hit adversity during the regular season, which was fantastic. I embraced it. I wanted it to happen. We hit it numerous times, and our guys were tested then, and they stayed connected. And you know, to see the ups and downs, especially early in this in these playoffs against Atlanta, and see them stay connected while trying to sacrifice and believe, it's fantastic. And you know, you don't know if there's going to be carryover with those things in the postseason until you go through it. And going through it with these guys, these coaches, and seeing it, you know, gives you hope for a lot of things because the group has been fantastic.
Mike, when you see, you talked this morning about desperation. When
Yeah.
you see your team, 10 straight wins, still being the team that comes out, and I think had a 17-0 fast break point lead at one point, seem to be out hustling, outworking, executing. Just what does it tell you about these guys that with this sort of lead, they're still working like that, like desperation?
You know what? It's one of the things I said before. They've been fantastic, you know, trying to pay attention to all the details that we've been throwing at them. And we've thrown a lot of adjustments offensively and defensively at them throughout the course of these playoffs. And to still see them locked in and try to be focused on the details at hand, again, that speaks volume, again, about my coaching staff and the way that they're presenting and changing and all that stuff, but more so about these players and their want to go try to get a win.